Thank you for tuning in to the Natty News Daily podcast. This episode is brought to you in part by our sponsor, Core Nutritionals. You can check out corenutritionals.com for all your supplement needs and use code Natty News Daily at checkout to save 20%. Enjoy the episode.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back to the Natty News Daily podcast. I'm rolling solo today, but I've got a great guest, so not too concerned that I'm going to need to lean on the boys for this conversation. This man should need no introduction. If you're in the natural bodybuilding world, you don't know who Meshack Ochieng is. I don't know who you are. So, Meshack, welcome to the show. Thanks for taking out the time for me. How are you doing?
Thank you, my brother. I'm doing good today. It's starting to get warm in Wisconsin, but that's life. That's how I just came back from Kenya, where it's a little bit rainy and kind
little
of
warmer
warm
most of
in
the
some
year.
parts of the country. Yeah. So
How was adapting to the cold for that? What was your first winter like in Wisconsin?
that's a life changer, especially being in a country where we don't have winter. And then my first day in the US was around December. And so you can imagine how.
Oh, so you went right into I was
Yeah,
saying the fire, but it's the other way around, into the ice.
yeah, it was tough, but I end up getting used to it.
Very cool. You
Yeah.
just have to, layers and layers and layers. You can always add layers, right?
I had to buy a lot of clothing, especially the warm ones, so that but still it was a shock.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Before we jump into it, I've got some questions right off the jump. But before we get too far down, why don't you give just a brief introduction, who you are, maybe some of the organizations you've competed with, some of the titles that you've won, just a real high level overview, and then we'll dig into some detail.
Okay. So yes, my name is Meshack Ochieng. Originally from Kenya, and I did started bodybuilding way back when I was only 18 back in my country, Kenya. And at first I didn't know what it's bodybuilding. I thought so long as you go to the gym, you can just jump on stage and compete. And that's how we did on our first contest. My brother took me to the contest, and after weighing in, I realized, oh, you have to know how to pose. You have to know how to be on stage, and we didn't even practice anything. So at my first contest, I had to rely on what people are doing. When I see them doing double biceps, then I will do a double bicep.
You look over your left, look over your right. Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I end up being second on my category, and from there, somebody who was one of the judges, he pulled me aside and told me that if I could just learn how to train and how to eat for a contest, then I will be unbeatable. And that's how I now started learning how to lift for a competition, how to eat for a competition. And from there, I started winning, and it was kind of a long winning, almost winning everything back home.
What were the shows like in Kenya?
Very, very competitive. Trust me. If we get, let me just say, if we can get 10 Kenyans here competing, then I'm telling you, they will be winning left and right. We still have categories. When bodybuilding started way back, we used to have categories. Like in men's bodybuilding, we'll have lightweight, welterweight, middleweight, heavyweight. That is still there up to now. You find one category of bantamweight has got 10 people, so they have to do prejudging to get the 5 that will go to the final. So that's how it is up to now. Compared to here, whereby you end up finding, like, in bodybuilding, you have only 10 people.
Yeah, so, 10 in an open class. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems like there's just such an untapped market. Yeah, if you know any good natural bodybuilders that are, have some photos posted, send them our way.
I will.
We'd love to share them and get them some love and get some appreciation for some of those guys out there.
There are so many of them. It's just getting that opportunity to be able to come to USA and compete or go to other country. That's the problem. But if
Yeah,
it was somewhere you can just drive and come to USA and compete, you'll be seeing a lot of them.
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
different, but
And
hopefully as the world expands and
yeah.
reach grows, and
Mhm.
hopefully we see more of these guys stepping on stage,
Yeah.
yeah, I would love to see it, because yeah, to expand and see more guys like yourself, just freaks.
So
That'd be awesome. That'd be
yeah.
awesome.
So back in Kenya, we have the National Sports Council, the Ministry of Sports. So every sport is affiliated to the government ministry. So you
Okay.
can only find one bodybuilding federation. If it's soccer, it's just one soccer federation. So we don't have different bodybuilding federations. It's just one.
And it's tied to the government then.
Yes.
Okay, the country
Yeah.
runs the organization, so it's the bodybuilding organization of Kenya, or what is it called?
Kenya Bodybuilding Federation.
Gotcha. And is that drug tested? Do you know?
It's drug tested. It's drug tested. For a while, it was everybody used to just compete without thinking of steroid because they were not easy to access steroid. But lately, we have been having cases of people using steroid because now with the online media, it's
Marketplace,
easy.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's easy to access these things, and that is the problem that we are having now, even in our country, in my country, Kenya. But before, it used to be most people will be just competing without thinking of being natural or yeah.
Wasn't even a thought. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, the times are changing in that regard with,
Yeah.
with
But
access to things.
but we didn't have anything like professional and amateur. So so long as you win your class, you get your money. There is nothing
Yes.
like you are a professional or you are amateur. For you to organize a show, there have to be sponsors, whereby even though it's not as much, but at least appreciate the athletes, especially the top threes will get something. So when there is no money, there will be no contest. When there is enough sponsors, then you will see contest everywhere.
Yeah, yeah. So it sounds like
Yeah.
to a large degree, it's kind of thriving over there in its own little quote unquote bubble there.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
So
need to break that bubble and get those people out, right? Yeah.
I wish that can be something of a possibility, but um, some of them do come here once in a while and compete. But it depends. Sometimes the person who is able to come is not doing the best. But the
Yeah.
people that are like will damage everything here, they don't have that resources to be able to come around.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So after winning all the contests, including the national junior, I won the Mr. Kenya. I went and won the East Africa. Then now I started competing with the people from other countries around Africa. I remember, somebody called Bada Lakan.
Oh, I'm familiar with Bada. I heard, yeah, I heard some rumors that you two go back.
Yes, yes. We competed against each other. It was in 2010, back in
Where
Kenya.
was that? That was in Kenya. So he came to Kenya.
Yes, it was Mr. Africa.
And who took that title?
I remember I was second. There was another Kenyan who got first. Then
There's
I got
another guy
second.
that beat both of you.
Yeah.
I need to see this guy. Yeah, start sending us some stuff, man. Send us some photos or whatever you have, social media
I
profiles,
have a
anything.
lot. I have a lot. I'll be sending them to you. But it was very competitive. We had people
Wow.
from all over the continent. Yeah.
Very
So
cool.
after doing all that, then I saw that I was now becoming more than just an athlete, because I remember it used to come a time when other athletes are aware that I'm coming to compete, then they won't show up. So now I had to now stop going to this small contest and now started looking for ways to come to USA. Okay. And that's how one of my friend, his name is Philip from Springfield, Illinois. He reached out to me and helped me get the visa to come to USA. And once I came to USA, I did my first contest. It was a PNBA. And
is that
I
where you
remember,
showed up and they asked if you were guest posing?
yeah. So I went to that contest. It was, I didn't know how small they are, because I'm used to Kenyan contests where there are so many contestants. So when I showed up, and I remember there was a guy he thought he was going to get his pro card. And when I showed up, he thought maybe I was part of the guest posers. And when when they learned that I'm there to get my pro card too, nobody could believe me. And but I wanted a pro card so that I can compete. I remember it was few months before Mr. Universe. So I got my pro card. The next 2 weeks I did NPC Flex Lewis Classic, which I won. Then I did.
Would that have been in open bodybuilding then? In regular
Yes.
bodybuilding, men's bodybuilding?
Yeah. Then I did PNBA Natural Universe. Philip Ricardo won. Then Marshall Johnson got second. Then I got third. Then 3 years after that, I won the Mr. Universe 3 years in a row. Then it was moved to another country. I think it was China or somewhere. Then because I didn't want the tag of being labeled as a PNBA guy, I decided to do other shows too. So I did IFPA, I did OCB, I did NPC, I did an NGA. Yeah, I think I've done them all.
Have you competed with the WNBF too?
Yes, I did WNBF. I did it in 2005. Oh no, and 15. And I didn't compete. I was supposed to compete, but I didn't compete. The reason is because when we went there 2 days before the show, they told me that I need to do a drug test. So there was a polygraph, then you compete. So when they gave me the polygraph form to fill out, there was one question, 1 or 2 questions that I didn't get it clearly because of the wording, how it was worded. So instead of yes, I said no. So during the test, I got one wrong, and the guy told me that I have to do it again. I did it again, the same thing happened. So he told me now I need to talk to Bob. I think his name is Bob and Tina,
Yes.
to give me now the urine test. So I waited. The next day, Bob came, and they were told what happened, and he told me that now I cannot even do urine test. So I asked why, and they told me now that's it. If you failed polygraph, then you cannot compete. And I tried begging them because that was my first time doing polygraph. I didn't even know what polygraph is, and it just depends on your heartbeat, how your heartbeat is, and that's it. So I told them that I still want to compete if I can get a urine test because I know myself, I know everything that I take. I am one person that is so specific. I cannot just even get a supplement and just start using it. I have to go through the content and make sure that whatever is written there is what is the supplement. So he refused and he told me that I cannot compete. I tried talking to him to just allow me compete and do urine test, but because that is the rule in their constitution that if you
Yeah.
fail polygraph, you do the urine test, but they refused to give me the urine test. So I was like, okay, if that's it, then I could not compete. So I did not compete. So I will say for WNBF, that was it. They did not allow me to compete, and I said, okay, if I cannot compete because of that, then that's it. So from there, I just did all the contests that were just you get tested, whether it's urine or polygraph, and you compete. Since
Yeah, because
then,
let's say you've competed with the OCB and been polygraph too.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, and since you obviously
And
passed the OCB's polygraph, but the WNBF just happened to be your first one, which
that was my
it,
first one, and I don't know. I don't know if it was just because of I was nervous kind of, but it made me look like I did something wrong. But I'm really sure that everything that I was taking from then up to now, I'm way aware of the everything that I'm taking into my system. Yeah.
was that the first year you came over to the States then that happened?
Yeah. That was the first contest that I did the polygraph because before then I was
Yeah.
doing the PNBA and they don't do polygraph. They just do urine.
That's right, because your first season was that's right. You mentioned that first season was PNBA, but then you decided to see what test other waters. I see.
Yeah. Yeah.
I see. Okay, yeah, that's a shame that worked out that way. What year was that you tried? I wonder if you would be quote unquote re-eligible.
2015.
2015. Okay,
15. Yeah.
because technically,
Yeah, I
yeah,
think by now I think I should be able to compete.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a shame, but I guess what can you do?
Well,
There's lots of questions on the legitimacy of the polygraph in general, but especially with the language barrier, I could see how that could be, even more of a challenge. But
but
yeah, we don't need to beat down on that too much, that topic too much.
it's okay, but it's we try to teach people that doing steroid is bad, and so I would like transparency in terms of like testing the whether it's urine or polygraph. It's good for us and for upcoming bodybuilders too.
I agree. Um, so I just had a quick question, jumping back a little bit before I get into kind of, more questions on your competitive history competing in the
Mhm.
U.S.
Yeah.
Is what I think you mentioned was your. I'm very interested in you coming over from Kenya to the United States. So was it primarily driven by your desire to bodybuild in the States, or was it work, or was it both, or
I will say both,
both? Okay.
but the major one was about competing. Yeah,
Okay.
because I'm so passionate about bodybuilding, and I wanted to be able to compete with the best of the best in the world. And so when I got the opportunity to compete, I was like, now, let me now go and compete. And that was the reason why I was jumping even to WNBF, because I remember I was told that, there is so much politics here. Once they see you competing in PNBA, they will take you as a PNBA person. So when you go to a different federation, they will just treat you as outsider. And that's something that was not in my mind. I just thought that so long as I'm a good bodybuilder, I can go anywhere and compete with whoever is there. Yeah.
Yeah, you get different opinions, and
Yeah.
some organizations, some people are like, compete wherever you want. That's
Yeah.
cool. We love it. You know, we want to have you on our stage, but we understand you want to compete elsewhere. And then other organizations really like their
They like
athletes to be exclusive. Yeah. So yeah, which is kind of unfortunate, because especially because there's not one organization that kind of reigns over them all, at least not from my perspective.
They're just small. So to be tied to just one, doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. So with that, I guess that jumps into what my next question was going to be. Like, with the you've competed obviously across different organizations. You've competed USBF and PNBA, Mr. America. Which organizations have you seen to be the most competitive? Which ones have you seen? Which ones have you enjoyed the athlete experience in?
I will say PNBA.
PNBA.
Yeah. It do come with being told to be part of PNBA, but when you're competing, they treat you like a family. You see the togetherness, or everybody's just like a family. All the other competitors, they treat you as a family. That is something that I don't see in most of these federations. Yeah. But those competing with PNBA, most of them just do that federation. They don't cross over.
Yeah. And do you think you got any, I don't want to say unfair treatment, but whenever you decided to compete elsewhere and try other orgs and stuff like that? Or sounds like you didn't really experience that so much in the PNBA.
No, I've never get any kind of bad treatment. Because I've competed PNBA, jump to other federation, go back to PNBA, and even win the Mr. Olympia. So I don't see any kind of mistreatment in PNBA or any other federations. I don't know, maybe because when I go to this federation, I win. So, when you win, it's different. When you lose, then you will have something to complain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so looking forward to this year, I don't know how much you want to reveal. What's your plans for this year beyond?
So
this might be the Natty News Daily exclusive. We talked a little off air, but I'm not gonna.
So yeah, I think this is going to be news, but I'm quitting. It's been 23 years of me competing, and it reached a point that I don't have anything to prove. I'm looking around, just for example, just last year, I will say there was no contest that I will say was that competitive that I will jump in and compete. If you leave alone the 3 contests, Mr. America, Yorton Cup, IF, EPE, IPE,
IPE
Worlds, and Olympia, Natural Olympia, which normally you have to qualify to compete. Most of the contests they don't have anybody there competing. I mean, if I will go to like Peoria to compete, there will be 2 or 3 people to compete, and I just feel like there have been now so many federations around that bodybuilding have been watered to a level that I don't feel like I'm going to meet the competitiveness that I'm looking for. When I started competing, I remember my first universe in Chicago. We were around 23 pro bodybuilders, 23.
Mm-hmm.
Now you look at that same Mr. Universe, you will find 4 people. And it's not 4, it's just 4 because of the numbers. But if you look at the quality, you will just find maybe 1 or 2 people. And that doesn't look good on my side. When I'm getting ready to compete, I give it all. I focus 100%. And even though I've been training to compete and win, but it looked bad on my side when I win, and you look at the number 2, number 3 are people that you can't even compare me with, people that are way lower than me. My last contest, in 2022, I think that was the year that I felt there was some good competitions. Mr. America, Mr. USA, which one else? Atlas. There was Atlas in Texas too. Apart from those, since then, even the major contest, even the amount that they were paying, they reduced the amount, and all the major competitors kind of take time off. And I felt now, I think I don't have any competitor, anybody that I can compete against. That's number 1. Number 2, I'm from Africa, and we have culture. We have our own culture. And even though I love bodybuilding, it reached a point that you just have to take time off. I have family, I have 2 kids. The girl is 18 and the boy is 16. Most Africans, bodybuilding is not their sport. Even though we have that small percentage that love bodybuilding, but it's not an African sport. To be that having just a posting trunk is not an African, but because we have this small percentage that love bodybuilding, that's why you see it even in Africa. But once you have a family and your kids reach a certain age, then there is that kind of respect that you want to give them. And I told my kids that once they reach 16 to 18, then that's now they are now be starting to have girlfriend, boyfriend. So I have to lift my hand and say, okay, that's enough. I'm not competing anymore. And before you know, I will be having my son-in-law or daughter-in-law. And so there is some kind of respect that comes with that age. And so I decided that because the kids are that age that I said I will retire when they reach, this is the time. I don't have any injury. I don't have anything that I will say will stop me from competing if I want to compete. But just because of the family, I had to say no. Yeah.
That's tough. And when you say respect, could you elaborate on that a little bit? Because as an American, I'm not fully grasping it, but
Yeah. Your kids, they're not supposed to see you in that stage present. They can see you, but when it reach a point now that they have their partners too, then you're supposed to cover yourself most of the time.
okay. So it's a modesty.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. But you see, like here, you can find somebody at 70 still competing, have their
Yeah.
grandkids coming to see them. In Africa, that is, I don't see that one in Africa. And so I will say it's the cultural thing. And I do still have that in me, and I don't want to have my grandkids at some point. I'm not saying I have them, but before I know I will have them, and I don't want to be competing at that age.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. That's got to be tough.
Yes. Because I'm used to making meals. I'm used to training as if I'm going to compete. I'm looking at some pictures from even last year. I didn't compete, but just looking at the videos and the photos that I had taken in the gym, I was like ready to compete. You will just give me like 4 weeks and I will be ready to be on stage, but I still did not compete. So it's something that I'm used to, even though I will not be competing, but I will be like, yeah, this close to being on stage.
Gotcha.
So it's something that is I did announce it yesterday on my Facebook, but most people did not understand. I said that I'm leaving the dance floor, but most people did not understand it. But I want to make it clear that going forward, I will not be competing. I will still be involved in bodybuilding, coaching, and being a judge or being just a supporter of bodybuilding. But in terms of being on stage, that will not happen.
Gotcha. So you still that was going to be a question I had, was you still plan to stay involved? So do you have some plans for this year to be involved, or you plan to step away for a little bit?
No.
Clear your head and get right into it.
I'm still going to be involved as much because I have some clients that I still train, and some of them still compete. So you will be seeing me around.
Very good. I hope to see you at Mr. America.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm planning to come to Mr. America, whether I'm competing or not. I'm planning to come and watch the show.
Very good. Very good. Yeah, I look forward to see that.
I have some friends that are close to where the contest will be. So I will be visiting a friend, and so it will be the right time to also come to Miss America and watch.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm bummed to hear this news, and I'm not as bummed obviously as you are. I can hear it in your voice and your demeanor that you know that's you've had a long career, but
Yes,
successful one, and you've accomplished and claimed a lot of
I've
titles. So
I've competed. I don't even know how many. This is now the time I'm trying to sit down and come up with the long list of the contests that I've done. Especially in the US, I don't know, I did maybe 40 something. And it's been a good run. I would say I've lost maybe 2 or 3 for all those contests. Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good record.
Yeah, I've got the opportunity to compete with some of the best bodybuilders in the industry. Kiyoshi, Philip Ricardo, Shavon, Bada, Marshall Johnson, Martin Daniel. I can't even remember some of them, but
Levi.
so many of them. Yeah. Yeah. I was able to compete with all of them. And I think I had a good time being on stage and competing against the best. And the feeling of winning against these good athletes kind of was a motivator to me. And I was trying to make sure that all these major titles get at least win one title, and I was able to accomplish that. And it doesn't come easy. Come with a lot of hard work, support from sponsors and friends, and that's something that I will be missing a lot.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like I said, I'm glad to see that you still are wanting to stay involved, even though hanging up the trunks is that's tough. That's tough.
Yeah.
So moving forward, a few kind of I'll call closing questions. Usually we ask for a message for the young athletes, which I want to cover that. But first, I want to say or ask. You mentioned just with the quality of natural bodybuilding, it being fractured. What do you think is the future of natural bodybuilding, and what can be done to improve it to bring the standard up and maybe unify?
Right now, if the trend keep on going this way, then I don't think we'll have natural bodybuilding in few years to come. We have so many federations that are struggling to get a piece of natural bodybuilding. And if you look at the quality of the athletes, it's also going down. One thing that have led to the low quality of bodybuilders is because of the introduction of classic physique in NPC. So most of the good natural athletes end up jumping to NPC. And once they jump into NPC, they don't come back. So that's one thing that have led to the low quality of bodybuilders in natural bodybuilding. Then formation of new federation year after year. That is something that, because now in area where like Midwest, we used to have like maybe 3 contests or 4. but now we have them almost every month. Every
Yeah, there's
month.
a
So
lot.
you end up just getting, so long as somebody has got a ton, they are going to compete. And that one, you don't get good quality athletes. So the only thing that can happen and they can bring back natural bodybuilding is if there is some kind of unity among these federations to come together. I know it's hard because to most of them it's like a business, and so they are afraid that when they fold, then they won't get the piece of cake that they've been getting every year. But
Yeah.
still, I don't think they are getting anything right now. Most of them are not getting anything, even if they have federation as a federation, but I don't think they are getting anything in return. If they can, one of them just decide to fold and form one federation, then we'll be able to have like a contest. You know, I'm used to Africa, whereby when there is a contest, you still see more than 200 or 300 people coming to compete in a day. But it reached a point here whereby in a contest on a Saturday morning, you see like 30 competitors that involve bikini, all these categories. 30. That is not healthy, and it's just watering down the contest. And also, the third thing that is had been like lowering the contest is the introduction of these so many categories that doesn't even add value to bodybuilding. In natural bodybuilding, I don't see the meaning of having classic physique. We ourselves, apart from one or two people in natural bodybuilding, we have classic physiques. If you just leave one or two, like somebody like me, if you put me into classic physique, I won't do any good because I'm a bodybuilder. I don't think I can be a classic physique. Somebody like Bada cannot be a classic physique. So if you leave just one or two people, then the rest just look like classic physique athletes. So in natural bodybuilding, yes, it's good to get a pro card. You go home and saying, "Oh, now I have a pro card." But if you just look keenly, there is no meaning of having classic physique in natural bodybuilding. There's another one just came up, I think 2 years ago, wellness. I don't even know what it is. I still don't understand it, but people just want pro card. You find somebody go to a contest and get 6 pro cards. One person, he goes to this category, win bikini, win physique, figure, and it's just one person. So you just wonder, like, what is the criteria of choosing where the person should be? Is it bikini? Is it figure? Because nowadays, so long as you go on stage, you can be bikini, you can be figure, and you're just one person. That used to not happen before. But because now we have so many federations, a federation just want anybody to compete, whether they have it or not. So if we just, as natural bodybuilding, if we can just stop looking on the other side, because normally natural bodybuilders, we just look at the NPC and just copy what they are doing. If they come up with a class, then natural bodybuilding is also doing it. Forgetting that we are made different from the NPC guys. We are totally different people.
Yeah, and that's I mean, that's a whole nother I mean, you talk about division within or between organizations, and then within it's just further fractured. Yeah, I can definitely see that
Yeah.
perspective where it just fractures and dilutes individual categories, right?
Yeah, now you don't have bodybuilding. Like now you go to a contest, and the one class that you will find the least amount of people is bodybuilding, because everybody's now because they don't want to do legs or some kind of stuff, they will do men physique. They will do classic physique. You end up finding only one person doing bodybuilding. Yeah. And if you look at that one bodybuilder, he doesn't even have anything to show that he's ready to get a pro card, even though he's going to get a pro card because he was the only person there. But it's somebody that is not ready to be counted as a pro bodybuilder. Because nowadays I'm just looking around and see, okay, this person got a pro card, but I'm just looking at the person. I'm like, is this now somebody that can go and compete against me? It doesn't make sense. But because most trainers, their aim is to get their clients to get pro card. So long as you go and compete, whether you are one person or two people, you get your pro card, that's an achievement. But to me, getting a pro card is nothing. If you love the sport and you want to be a competitive bodybuilder, have a good look, compete, look for a show where you have competitors, not just okay, because you know this contest is going to have this less people, let's go there so that you have high chances of getting a pro card. That doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, we better have few shows where we'll be having 10 people in a class, and at least among 10 we'll have some quality athletes there. Yeah.
So that kind of leads into my next question, which is what would you advise to the young athlete, the 18-year-old Meshack who's getting in the gym and jumps on stage and, oh, what's this bodybuilding thing? And I don't know how to pose, but it looks cool. And, got a lot of years ahead of you. So you mentioned, you mentioned look for competitive shows, look for competitive classes, and compete where there's 10 plus guys when you can.
Yeah.
I'd like to finish this on a positive note here. What else would you say to the young Meshack or any young athlete?
So when I competed on my first contest, I found out we were only 3 people in bodybuilding in that class. And that is not what I wanted. I wanted to go to a contest where I can, even if I win, I can feel like it was a battle. It was not just something that just being given to me. So if you are 18 and just feel like you want to compete, then just don't go to any contest where you just feel like, oh, there will be 5 people. Go to a contest where there will be some guys that are tough to beat. If you are able to be among them and compete and wins against them, trust me, you will be able to be counted as a pro. But at this level, I don't see that happening, because most people just want to go for one contest, get their pro card and disappear. It took me a while, even though I was from Africa and competing over there, we don't have pro cards, but I will say it would have taken me close to 4 years of competition to be able to get a pro card. Right now, it's just so easy to get pro card. Pro card is nothing. If you really love bodybuilding, then pro card in natural bodybuilding is nothing, because right now we don't have enough people competing. So you're just going to go to any contest and come home with your pro card. That is not going to help you. Just make sure that you get ready, you look at yourself, and just look for a show where there will be some tough competition. Go there, compete. If you win, you're going to be somebody to be feared by so many athletes. But if you just want a pro card, It's so easy to get a pro card nowadays. But another thing, remember, this is natural bodybuilding. It takes a lot of time to build muscle naturally. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of trying this, and this is not working. You try something else. It takes me a long time to be able to like get myself into one perfect line whereby I will say, okay, this is the contest I'm going to do. This is the method of nutrition, diet that I will be using. This is the kind of training I'm going to use. And that doesn't come within 1 year or 2 years. It's going to take you a while to be able to get yourself known that this is the method that is working for you. So just take time. It's natural bodybuilding. It's going to come, but for a while. You just have to be patient.
So be patient and chase the pro physique, not the pro card.
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
a great way to
Yeah.
great message and great way to close this thing out. So Meshack, yeah, appreciate you taking the time this evening to chat. I'm bummed with the big news that you dropped on me, but I'm very glad to hear that you'll still be involved in the sport,
Yeah.
and I'm looking forward to seeing you in person at Mr. America.
Yes.
So where can people find you? You know, plug your coaching, plug your sponsors, all that fun stuff, whoever you want to thank.
Yeah, so I'm still with my sponsors, the Hard Body Supplements. They're the best supplement around. You just go online and look for Hard Body Supplements. They've been good people to me as family. I have my bodybuilding family around Wisconsin. Mike, I have Matt, Bades, I have Albert, I have Jerome, people that Alana, who is always my friend every time I compete. So we are still one family and we'll be seeing each other around.
Awesome, Meshack. Like I said, I appreciate you taking the time, and I'll see you in Atlantic City in a few
Thank
months. My face will be a little shrunken down by then. So,
Yeah.
alrighty, guys. If you like this podcast, give it a like, share it for to anyone you think would be would enjoy this one, would enjoy the message, and we'll see you in the next one.
Thank you.
Thank you, Meshack.
Bye.